Good morning, morning. Good morning, morning. Happy Saturday. I'm just setting up my device here. I think that's been much better now. So, good morning, guys. Happy Saturday. How are you all doing? How are you all doing? Please like this live stream as you come in. Good morning, Abu Bakri. How are you? Thanks for the compliment. I'm just sipping my coffee because I'm not throwing away coffee today. So like as a comment, like and share as a comment, and please share this live stream. And if you can hear me, do let me know in the comment section. All right. I'm just gonna wait for maybe another 30 seconds, and then we shall get this topic started. All right. I'm sure most of you will be at home, possibly still on your bed. Or maybe just about, if you've got children, maybe you're just about doing your weekend food shop. I'm going to be doing mine later on. Yeah. So quick introduction. My name is Wemimo, and I'm also known as Thatmumof5 and also known as TMO5 Kanduko. If you're new to my channel, welcome, and if you're a returning subscriber, thank you so much for always coming back. So today's video is about this lady called Ruth Ogunleye. Is she Ruth Ogunleye or Ruth Ogunleye? Yeah. So I've been seeing her story for about a week and a half now. And I actually went to her page because I was shocked at the fact that not a lot of social media handles, or maybe not a lot of news media handles or news media outlets were talking about it. Because I must confess to you guys, this is not the first military story involving female army that I've come across on social media. I am sure there was one maybe late last year. There was another story the year before, and I'm sure I was trying to find that one of last year. I was actually going to talk about it, but I don't know what happened, why I didn't talk about it. But I went to this girl's page on Instagram, and I actually dropped a comment there as to like, why are people not actually talking about this lady? Like, why are the news medias not talking about it? So our story is, I'm just going to read off because as it is now, our story is currently on bbc.co.uk, and she has an Instagram handle called Ogunleye Ruth Savage. That's the name of her social media handle on Instagram. So for the fact that there was not a lot of social media handle or social media outlet talking about it or news channel talking about it, I felt this is something that really needs to be looked into. Okay. Here in the UK as well, there's issues with female, especially black female women in the army. I'm sure there's one on my channel where I was talking about a certain black female army who was facing lots of harassment and stuff at work, and she decided to sue the army. And yeah, she was paid some compensation, even though the army did not agree to how they've let her down. Hello, Celine, how are you? Thank you so much. My braids, I took down my braids yesterday, so this is me just covering my hair, and I'm going to get it done on Monday. So I understand clearly that this issue of the army, it seems to be the same everywhere. Just like I was saying earlier, there was a story about a black female army here in the UK, and I covered that story. I've still got my gym wear on, guys. Don't mind me. I've just changed into this top. So I did cover her story, and yes, I understand that it's happening everywhere. But the one that happened in the UK, she was listened to. She had a day in court, and yes, the army she took to court, they paid her compensation, even though the changes she was clamoring for, the army allegedly or somehow refused to admit or to accept that there's a shortcoming or there's a shortfalling coming from the aspect as to when female who are going through what that lady went through, when they come in to report the issue. So let's start with this case of this Ruth Ogunleye. So I'm going to read directly from the BBC. Celine said, I'm good. I'm good. Thanks. It looks good on you and you're beautiful in everything you wear. Thank you so much, Celine. So, like I said, I'm going to be reading our story from BBC.uk, and then there are some of our videos on our Instagram page that I would also want us to listen to. So, I'm looking at the time, maximum an hour will be here and then out. Please like the live stream as they come in. So, I'm going to read from bbc.co.uk, all right? So, the image of the girl is on my thumbnail. Her name is Ruth Ogunleye. So, a soldier sacked by the Nigerian military after she accused some officers of RAPE and Kedewa harassment, has released a video condemning her treatment. Ex-Private Ruth Ogunleye made the allegations via a TikTok account in January, saying she had suffered immensely as a result of her ordeal at the hands of a general and two colonels. Exactly. BBC now has it. Exactly. After an investigation, the army dismissed allegations and said the soldier had been discharged on medical grounds as she suffered from a condition that makes her vulnerable without giving further details. Similar thing they always say, same thing with the story of the girl, the one I read last year and the one I read the year before. They always, this investigation from the army section always come out that, oh, the female soldiers were going through some sort of mental whatever. That is always what they always come down with. That is always the decision they make or they give after dismissing the female soldier who has actually come to report cases of harassment and sexual harassment. They always come and say, oh, they were dismissed because they had some mental health issues. From like, this is a similar story from the ones I've read in the past. And there's another one which I'm going to be reading to you guys as well. So Miss Ogunleye has now released a second video on TikTok in which she calls for the investigation to be made public and describes how she was RAPED and given an injection by those she accused of. This is a similar story as to the one I'm going to be reading again, and as to the one I read last year, and to the one I read a year before last year. So I think there's something going on with the Nigerian army when it comes to female soldiers. So Ms. Ogunleye started by, in quote, firstly, I want to thank you, Army spokesman General Yeman Wachuku, for posting me on all social media platforms, newspapers. It shows how powerful I am, she said. January 9, 2024, I came on social media to complain of how I was harassed, of how I was RAPED, and how I was injected and put inside a casket. Can you imagine? How I had a pow pointed at me, was handcuffed and kept inside an office for some days. I want to beg the Nigerian army to post the outcome of the investigation on all social media platforms so that the world would know what transpired, she noted. The outcome of the investigation was revealed by General Nwachukwu on Tuesday evening. Upon receipt of a complaint, in quote, the Nigerian army referred the matter to the military office, to the military police for a thorough investigation. The investigation concluded that Colonel I.B. Abdul Karim did not commit the alleged offense. So this girl made a claim towards or against this colonel. But then when the Nigerian army carried out their investigation, they said this army did not do anything. So will this girl just wake up one day and started naming names of people who had done nothing to her? Start calling all these colonels who are superiors, start accusing them of something they did not do. So it continued. He said Ms. Ogunleye had been discharged after refusing to get medical treatment from either the National Hospital in the capital, Abuja, or the Nigerian Army. This treatment they often come out with often happens that these girls get injected with some sort of substances and then they started to go colomental. So I don't blame her if she decided to refuse to take treatment from there. She could go somewhere else to take treatment. It does not necessarily have to be whatever hospital that is associated with the army she was working with. So it went on to accuse her of propagating false narratives against Colonel Abdul Karim and other senior officers. She's a grown-ass woman. She's a grown woman who knows how to count her teeth. So they are now saying that she does not know what she's talking about. She just woke up one day and suddenly started calling them names of colonels who allegedly RAPE there. Because I don't understand what this army are going. Like I said, this is a similar story. There's of another one that I'm going to be reading to you guys. However, women's rights activists have called for an independent investigation. In quote, the army is known for not wanting to wash its dirty linen in public. Adiza Ado, founder of Women and Children Initiative, told the BBC. If the army investigation are saying she had a medical condition which affects her, then for how long was she in the service with that condition exactly? Why coming out to say it now that she was dismissed, she asked? That's a good question. So let's listen to one of our videos from our channel, okay? I mean, from our page. So
when they issued me that certificate, and it was written boldly, medical discharge. And the first person I sent it to was my father. And my father said, no, my dad said, no. These people are going to use this against you. Hope you are aware, they are going to use it against you. And you know, you people, you guys people did case and investigation, and they are going to use it against you.
So she was dismissed on medical grounds, and this act saying that there was nothing wrong with her. Why was she discharged on medical grounds?
They are going to use it against you. And I told my dad that the chief family staff is away. He can never do such thing. He's our brother. Now. You understand? He's our brother, like he's there. He will never do anything of such. Because I wrote a voluntary discharge that I lost interest. I don't want anything to do with the army again. I lost interest in the job, and my dream were actually cut off.
This is a lady,
okay? Somebody, because I was dreaming to grow big, further up my education. You get, so since I'm not progressing, since there's no progression, since I don't know, it just feel like I did stagnant. I was in one place. I'm not going forward. I'm not
going backward.
Yeah.
So I want to believe that for the fact that she was saying that she was saying to her dad that, oh, the person who wrote that dismissed on medical grounds was their Egbon. I want to believe that was a Yoruba person. Maybe the Yoruba person was our boss. So she was like, oh, this man will not do this because apparently he was aware of all that has been happening and stuff. But this man still went ahead to sign that she was medically discharged. And in terms of medical discharge, this guy said that there was nothing wrong with her. It was when she called out those colonels on what they've done to her. That was when they started, with this issue of she's got mental illness, she's got this. And people were asking that since when did they know that she's had medical issues or she's had mental health issues? So if she has not come out to report all this sexual assault against all these bosses, would you not know that she had some sort of mental health issues? So there's a news channel that also spoke about this. Was the news hour. So let's listen to her. And I believe that the Minister of Women Affairs, Honorable Uju or something, she's aware of this case as well. So let's listen to this story.
Of sexual harassment by some senior officers say the army lied to Nigerians when it said she was mentally unstable. Now speaking exclusively to AIT's news on Wednesday, Ruth Ogunleye maintained she is mentally fit and that she voluntarily left military service.
Ruth first appeared on social media 10 months ago to decry the inhuman treatment she has received from senior officers.
At about 7 me to sleep with him at Eaglestown Hotel at about 700 hours PM. He asked me to sleep with him, which I refused.
What day was this?
For Sunday. Then on 27th February 2022.
Can you guys hear her?
He called me to sleep with him, which I was very, very surprised. And army is against it. In the army, it's called vandalization. It's a big offense in the army. Ever since then, Abi Abkarim injects me with Lakati injection, puts me inside caskets, popularly called body bag in the army. He will harass me, rape me.
Wow.
And at the end of the day, he will throw me inside psychiatric hospital to make it look as if what he's saying is true.
So you guys heard from her there. She was on AIT alleging that this colonel invited her to an hotel for Kerewa, and that she was surprised as to why a colonel who knows the law or the policy as to what he was asking. But this man, injected her with stuff according to her, and then Kerewa her without her consent against her will, and they went on to inject her with stuff and things like that. So this is not the first time I've heard stories like this. This story is similar to all of the ones I've heard in the past about ex-female soldiers who came out to say their bosses did this or did that to them. And I think the army needs to be investigated in this regard, because at the end of the day, whoever, either male or female, they should have equal rights because they are colleagues. So whatever a male is doing as a job in the army, a female should be equally be able to do that without any prejudice or without any discrimination against them. So there's another video of her that I want us to listen to. Okay.
If I see anything in this video, I want to say a big thank you to the Nigerian Army. And
I love the fact that she's still being cautious. Okay.
the Army speakman, Brigadier General Oyemachuku, for taking his time to post me on all social media platform, newspaper, radio station. It's not easy. That should show how special I am. That's to show how powerful I am. I really appreciate. I think I need a standing ovation for that. And it's no longer a news that I was discharged out of the army 15th June 2024.
And she's a beautiful girl.
That the Nigerian Army published the outcome of the investigation that led to my discharge on all social media platforms, including radio station, all channels. January 9, 2024, I came on social media to complain on how I was harassed by Colonel I.B. Abdulkarim, General I.B. Sholubo, Colonel G.S. Ogo.
3 bosses.
I was raped.
Wow.
How I was injected with Lactate injection, how I was put inside casket, how Colonel I.B. Abdulkarim pointed gun at me, how Colonel I.B. Abdulkarim handcuffed me and kept me inside this office for some days. I also want to beg the Nigerian Army to post the outcome of the investigation.
Exactly. Let them post it. Let them post it.
So that the whole wide world will know what really transpired between myself and Abdulkarim and what led to my discharge.
Exactly.
I'll be very, very grateful if you people considered my request. If you guys approved my request, I also want it to be published on all social media platforms. Same way I was published that I've been dismissed. And I don't have enough to say in this video. On behalf of I and my family, we are saying a big thank you for.
So that's just that there. This is us saying that somebody tried to buy her.
Remain mute with this thing I'm about to say in this video, because we are trying to reach somebody and we are reaching the person because we don't want to keep our evidence safe. You get so just remain mute. And my friend asked me to say this on social media, but of course this thing get that off. Let me say it here. General Oyemachuku sent people to come and buy me. Sent people to come and buy me.
That's a serious allegation.
For the intervention of some person that I cannot mention their name here. General Oyemachuku, if I'm lying, come and defend this one now. You send people to come and buy me. I'm not. I tend to keep quiet. I'm not scared of you. You said you have been sending people to come and kill me since. You get sending people, boys after me to come and buy me. Are they lie? Come talk say are they lie? Come online, come talk and say are they lie? The same guy, the same person, this afternoon, my friend now called me that that they posted me on AIT, I don't know if they call those channels. General Oyemachuku paid people to post me on all social media platforms. Sir, I want to tell you that I'm very, very happy. Now, fame they give me publicity. Easy. Easy. You see, you are saying they say people after my life, the same you again. The same
it's publishing all about her.
They don't discharge me. I was not dismissed.
She was discharged, not dismissed.
You see, I'm a very, very disciplined girl, a very disciplined soldier.
I love her courage, though.
Online, I don't be like your wife.
Yeah.
Online. My uniform, Nigerian uniform now I wear. And it's not easy. And I was discharged and I had to publish on social media. I think I don't know what we are doing. After sending boys to come and tie me, I snapped everything that happened. You understand? I snapped and so I let you go say that. They do, I know. You get, I know. You don't be God. God pass all of you now. God pass all of you now. You don't be God. You hear me now? You don't be God. Sure they get me now. You don't be God. Now fame, you see that what they do? You give people when they post my picture up and down. Now fame they give me. I was discharged. I was never dismissed. But let me tell you something. If anything happened to me, as I enter the grave, as I enter, I carry you and your family. All of you now will get my down for all of you now. I put now for my grave. Join all of you now. All of you now.
I think this girl needs to be taken seriously.
That day. Just hard this back of my life. Any way I go buy for this head, you go follow me enter that grave. If your hand meets me, if your hand meets me, no problem. No problem. Continue well. No, that was not in my room. I'm not the girl. I'm not the girl. Don't my look the post. Yes, you guys discharge me. Then you're not publishing it today. You see you. I know all your movements. I joke now. Let's be looking at ourselves. This is social media now. That we're not starting. We'll finish them. Now go see casting. All of them now.
Go see casting. So I really know this girl. I believe this is her crying out for help, and I'm so disappointed at the fact that there's not a lot of news outlets talking about it. So that there's still two other ex-soldiers whose story is similar to these ladies that I'm going to be reading about them. So there is where she's talking about the fact that Minister of Women Affairs got involved in this case. Okay.
Honorable Kennedy, man, you are a mother. You are not just a mother. You are a woman everybody respect so much. Man, please come and say it. Come outside and say the way it is. Man, you requested me to leave the job, which I submitted my handwritten voluntary letter to you, and you submitted it to the army headquarters, to the chief of army staff.
I agree with you, sir. She's talking out of pain and humiliation, but that's making her strong and confident. Yes, I agree with you.
And that is everybody, psychiatric doctors were there when you intervene, that I will start talking with you, that I should write a voluntary letter, which I submitted to you, and you went to army headquarters to submit it. And later, man, please come outside and say the truth, man. Thereafter, the chief of army staff called me on the 15th, on the 1st July 2024. You called me on video call. Lieutenant General T.A. Lagbaja. I don't say my life not there at stake. You say my life there at stake like this. We are from the same state, no problem. Because I felt that I just keep it to myself. You told me that you converted my voluntary discharge to medical discharge because you wanted me to benefit from pension and from other benefits. If I'm lying, I have evidence against you. I showed that everything that happened, you request for my news. And you brought me phone. I could 14 Pro Max.
Hold on. Let's hear it again. The Oga requested for her. So, and then you went on to buy her a mobile phone. Let's rewind and listen again.
Which I said
this guy is making serious allegations. So
you changed the honorable submitted my voluntary discharge application, which I wrote by myself. Why you according to what you told me, you converted medical my voluntary discharge to medical discharge so that I can benefit
again, no selling
pension and other benefits. So how did you guys send a board for me? How where is the meta email coming from? Okay, you said you were helping me because we come from the same place.
As Yoruba man to Yoruba girl.
And they lie.
Nude.
And they lie. Their stand. No problem, but I'm not going to make me look as if I don't know and they talk. They need to be like, you talk for me. Why are you guys making me look as if I don't know what I'm talking about? All of them are standing on one fire. You want to go fire me now? My fire me finish now, I go clear.
This girl is making a serious allegation. So the person she's talking about, I don't have the name of the officer, but I'm going to link the story in my description box in the bottom of this video. So she's alleging that this Oga boss of her said that he converted this medically discharged to some sort of discharge so that she wouldn't miss out on pension. And I want to believe that regardless of whatever she might have been discharged of, for the fact that she has worked in the army, she should not lose the benefits. As long as whatever she has committed is not an heinous crime, so why should she lose her benefits? So apparently that was what this Oga of who is also a Nigerian, a Yoruba man, and whom she felt she could trust, said to her that, oh, don't worry, you know what, the thing that I've changed it to medical, whatever. So which means that regardless of if you leave the army, you will not lose your benefits as an ex-army. And then before this man could do it for her, he requested for for when she was giving birth, a picture of when she was giving birth. He requested for it and proceeded to allegedly buy her an iPhone. So this girl is coming out with serious allegations, and I'm so, like I said, I'm disappointed at the fact that she's not being given the ears. People are not listening to her. This was how Mohbad was speaking to us by his songs. This was how Mohbad was speaking to us, calling out for help, and people ignored her. Ignored him. So this Ruth Ogunleye is being ignored as well. I understand that Honorable Uju Kennedy is involved in this case, and I think it's high time she used her office to allow or to ensure that this girl's case is being listened to and proper investigation be carried out by the Nigerian army, because a grown-ass woman like this cannot just wake up one morning and claim that 3 bosses of the army, RAPEDR. Hi, Chairman. Good morning, Mama 5. How are you doing, Ma'am? I'm listening. Thank you so much, Chairman. I'm doing very well. How are you? It's been a while. So she cannot just wake up one morning and claim that 3 men who are her bosses did something to her when, it doesn't make sense. It's just like me waking up this morning and saying, oh, my doctor allegedly did this to me, or my GP. No. So I think this girl should be given more ears. And if anything should happen to her, just like she said, the Nigerian army should be held responsible. She's calling out the names of these colonels. They should be held responsible because she claimed that they have made attempts to buy her, to unalive her. So, like I said, I don't understand. I think so far it's only TVC News, AIT News that have shared that so far on YouTube. And I think other people should be listening to her. Her stories on BBC News Africa. So she's got lots of videos on her channel. And like I said, I'm so disappointed that a career like this should be open. Should, like, both male and female should be able to join without the feeling that somebody's going to discriminate against them because they are a female. Sterling said no, they don't want her to sue them. She will make more money than a pension, or they are trying to save their military pocket. But then, yeah, she's speaking out, but it's only a handful of news outlets that are actually listening to her. And my own concern, or me talking about, is the fact that her life has been threatened. You all heard that when she said they made attempt to unalive her. What if they succeed? How is she going to be able to put out that story there? And yes, I did go on to one of our videos and I was like, why are social media news or social outlet or news outlets not speaking about this? I dropped a comment in one of our videos like, why are the media houses not actually speaking about this case? Like, why are they not speaking? I'm sure I dropped a comment there. I left a comment because I felt like, I said, why? This is my comment under one of our videos. Like, why is a story not being posted by other blogs? And somebody replied me to say, people are HATE hearing the truth. And it seems that the psych drug is making her kind of annoying when she talks. That's how she talks. Maybe that's obviously all the symptoms of the medication she's been injected. Is turned out to, obviously, when she talks, she's quite slow when she talks. So maybe that could be the effect of all the drugs she's been injected with, like somebody who is not mentally unstable. And because you guys want to be able to pass across your narrative about her, you started giving her some sort of medication so that when she comes out to talk, people say, oh, yeah, she's mentally unstable. Celine said, this is going worldwide in a mail. Exactly. It's crazy. Celine said, she needs protection. All right, Chairman, no worries at all. So another story of 2 other female soldiers, ex-soldiers, whose case is similar to hers. I'm going to read it to you guys because I was trying to find the one that I heard of last year, and this one was I think it was an Igbo girl. It was an Igbo girl last year. So this one that I'm about to read to you, I think it was on Marie Claire. Marie Claire is like a page or an organization that speaks about anything against women. Okay, so Marie Claire said the unspoken prejudice against female soldiers in the Nigerian army, and it was written by Oyindamola Adebiyi, So it says that in the shadows of Nigeria's esteemed army institutions, a silent epidemic festers, undermining the very fabric of equality and justice. Female soldiers sworn to defend their nation with honor and valor are instead forced to confront formidable foes within their own ranks. Systemic sexism, harassment, and intimidation behind the camouflage of camaraderie and patriotism. Women in uniform face a relentless barrage of physical and verbal abuse. And it's true. It's true. I told you about an example of the one that happened here in the UK. She sued them, went to court, she was paid compensation, but the army refused to accept to their own shortcomings as to how they deal with reporting, how they deal with cases like ours when people like her come to, or when female come to report to say, oh, my male colleagues are doing this to me. Obviously, she's been making all of those complaints. They did not take her serious until she gathered enough evidences, and then she sued them. And yeah, she won thousands of money. I don't know how much she was given as compensation, but yeah, she made a lot. She was compensated, and for that compensation, she probably will never have to work again in her life because she's she's sorted. So let's keep reading this news from Marie Claire. So they continue with this story of this girl. The story of ex-private Ruth Ogunleye, a female soldier who was recently dismissed. So according to her, she was discharged, not dismissed. She was discharged on the medical grounds. So a female soldier who was recently dismissed after reporting cases of sexual harassment by senior officers Colonel I.B. Abdul Karim, Colonel G.S. Ogor, and Brigadier General I.B. Solebo is just one. So those are the people that were making our life miserable. So it's just one of many that have made headlines. However, many have not. It's true. Many have not because they've quietened them down. They've probably done something to them, or some are maybe languishing in a jail somewhere in the north. These stories, long suppressed, now demand attention. Yes, it now demands attention. The army, these cases surrounding women within the army should be investigated. The army should be put on a hot seat now. Exposing a culture of misogyny that threatens to upend the Nigerian Army's proud legacy and undermine its effectiveness. As we shed light on these dark realities, we honor the courage of those who dare to speak truth to power. Because at the end of the day, no war no day for Nigeria. When we say all these women, they go face war. So why are majority of them now coming at the end of the day when army supposedly investigate their case? They often come out and say, oh, they are suffering from mental health. Like what mental health are they suffering from? What are they doing? What are their activities? What activities are they being put through? And when they now come out to say somebody allegedly, somebody did this to them, somebody did this to them, all of a sudden the army will come with their investigation and say, oh, they are mentally unstable. Why? When or how long have the army knew that they were mentally unstable? But when these women came out to report all of the activities of their male colleagues about them, you suddenly come out to say they are mentally unstable. But when they were actively doing great in their activities, you did not see any sign of mental illness in them. But suddenly you found mental illness in them when they come to report their male counterparts as to what they do to them. So this post continues. The many faces of prejudice against female soldiers. Over the years, female soldiers have come forward, sharing heart-wrenching accounts of sexual harassment, verbal abuse, and coerced relationships by senior male counterparts. And it's not far from what this girl has been saying. These experiences are not isolated incidences, but rather a pervasive culture of sexism and misogyny. So, sexual assault and gender-based violence, according to this report, for 10 long years, this is another lady now, another ex-soldier. And this one, the one that annoyed me the most is that she was 19 when that incident happened to her. She was only 19 years old. So Beauty Igbobi Uzezi, Celine said, because the big guys on top are part of this sick game and they don't want to name and shame the culprit as they might know hidden activities that they arranged in. Exactly. Hence why army should be reshuffled as well. It should be reshuffled. Remove the bad eggs. Some of the bad eggs have been named. Remove them. Replace them. But they won't do that. So for 10 long years, Beauty Igbobi Uzezi, a former aircraft woman with the Nigerian Air Force, struggled to get justice after she was drugged and gruesomely RAPED by her superior. When Uzezi enlisted into the NAF on August 15, 2010 with service number NAF 10/25157F, she did not envisage that a randy officer, Flight Lieutenant B.S. Vibelko, who was a trainer, would inflict life-threatening pains on her and terminate her career. Like I said, she was only 19 years old. Uzezi, who was 19 at the time, had alleged that on the 17th of May 2011, she was actually assaulted, brutally raped, and deflowered. Did you hear that? Deflowered by Vibelko at the NAF base in Kaduna, a trainer, a supposedly trainer who was meant to be trained how to fly the aircrafts. According to her, squadron leader Ejiga informed her orally on October 19, 2015 that she had been dismissed from NAF because she reported what happened to her, and she was dismissed. So she was meant to keep quiet. Like, what's going on in the army? She was then taken to the guard. See, if they even allowed her go, it would have been better, but she was punished. She was then taken to the guard room, detained, and forced to serve a 98-day sentence with hard labor imprisonment. Can you guys imagine that? A 19-year-old who came out to report the person who allegedly molested her. And then the Olori Buruku, the Mongo Park, as Mommy B, as Obodo Imbo TV will say, good morning, Happy, how are you? As Obodo TV will say, Mongo Park. The Mongo Park who did this to her nothing was done to him. Apparently he's going to receive another star to his shoulder for what he did to her. Yeah, that was why I said, if at all they thought maybe she was going to give them trouble, if they had just let her go. But no, they locked her up for 98 days, made her face a hard sentence with hard labor imprisonment for the fact that her trainer allegedly raped her. And she was only 19 years old. And according to her, she was supposedly a virgin. And her trainer deflowered her, via raped her. In a suit filed at the ECOWAS court through her counsel, Marshal Abubakar of Femi, our Lord Father is the Falanos that represented her. So, in her suit filed at the ECOWAS court through her counsel, Marshal Abubakar of Femi Falanos law firm, Uzezi stated that the officer overpowered her by hitting her head against the wall several times until she fainted. Then he had his way with her. Beyond the raped, she contracted an STD that had resulted in a pelvic inflammation that affected her uterus. Can you guys hear? Hey! Nigerian Army. Naso Nabi. If you are a woman, stay far away from Nigerian Army, because I don't even know what you're going there to look for. Stay away from them. So she equally alleged that beyond her physical injuries and the infection, she has since then been experiencing intermittent fainting bouts, severe vaginal discharge, dizziness, and a swollen vulva. Harassment and intimidation. There's another one again, and this one will shock you because she seems to be the youngest I've read about so far. This is Nigerian Air Force. Yes, Abby. Yes. So this is another case. And this story, Abby, is on Marie Claire, about other ex-army who have actually gone through what this Ruth Ogunleye went through. So this one was the one that shooketh me the most. She seems to be the youngest I've read about so far. Tochi, who joined the army as a 14-year-old child. 14-year-old child. Abby said, I'm sure it's worse in the army. Like, if you're a female and you're considering a career with the army or whatever, please stay away from them. Stay away from them. So this was the one that actually shook me to my bone marrow. She was only 14 years old. 14. Like, what is the age that the army or the NAF recruits their colleagues? Like, what age? Because I believe 14 is a minor, underage. Why would they recruit an underage? Abby said, I grew up on a barracks. I'm not surprised. Wow. Wow. So this definitely happens. And like I said, the army, the NAF, they need to be placed on a hot seat. They should be investigated. And for the fact that this Ruth Ogunleye is speaking out, she should be protected because she's already claimed that some people have been sent to her. You know, they've sent people to come and unalive her. Celine said, this is sickening. because it's a bit personal to me. I feel their pain. God help us, women, girls, mother, daughters. Amen. Oh, amen. So this 14-year-old one was the one that shocked me the most. It says Tochi, who joined the army as a 14-year-old child, shares a bitter experience which forced her to leave the Nigerian army. In quotes, I was fully ready to begin my journey in the force. I thought it would be an exciting ride because it was what I had always wanted to do. But I was shocked when an officer approached me, asking me to be his baby. Baby as pa, you know, get wife and your own children for house. He kept applying pressure, and when I was adamant, he started to intentionally punish me. That was what Tochi said. Seeking help, Tochi took the bold step to speak and report her aggressor, but the result was more than she bargained for. In quotes, the mistake I made was to report him to another superior officer. They both made the camp a living hell for me, and I spent most of my time serving different punishments and not the main reason I was there, which was to train and become better. Can you imagine? Can you imagine a 14-year-old? Abby said the harassment and grave domestic staff of officers get from young officers and other ranks. I can imagine what happens within the staff. Honestly, like I'm not even doubting because like I said, Abby, there was a case of a girl in the UK as well who also faced something similar to this, and she took them to the court. She took them to court. Yeah, I called the court the dry cleaner. She took them to the dry cleaners, and the dry cleaners got them clean. She was compensated, but the army refused to accept the way they handled the case when she was reporting oppressors. So I wish Nigeria was a country where justice system is, is being highly influenced by, if you seek justice, you get it. But Nigeria, the justice system is shite. I'm sorry to say. In fact, I'm not sorry to say because we can see what's going on with the case of Bobrisky and whatever now. The justice system in Nigeria is non-existent. And knowing that these things happen, like I said, there was another story of a girl who actually explained the same thing similar to this Ruth Ogunleye last year that I read about. I've been trying to find that story since yesterday, but I can't find it. Abby said this is why soldiers have a reputation, a bad reputation, especially with sexual discipline. I've been reading it everywhere. So Tochi continues, sharing more details. She added, I slept in the mud, rolled on the floor, sat facing the sun, and I almost lost my sight from not sleeping enough. But there was really nothing I could do. The other girls I learned who refused to give in also went through something similar or even worse. This is shocking. Okay. So she continued, after completing the compulsory 1-year training, Tochi revealed that she was forced to work with her assailant as an administrative assistant. What followed were 2 torturous years that she likens to working for the devil, in quotes. I received a phone call from him one night, threatening to deal with me if I kept on being adamant. At that point, I was fed up and decided to resign. But it wasn't until after 4 long years of brutal back and forth and enduring abuse before she was set free. Can you imagine? A 14-year-old. And she went on to stay in that profession until she was 18. That's shocking. That's shocking. However, Tochi may never be truly free. Immediately I left, I developed paranoia. The threats I received kept playing in my head. There are a lot of things I cannot say about the force on record, even though I have left. Yeah, they won't be able to say because they could easily find her. They could easily find her. Abby said, with the age, it's so tricky because you expected to go to the NDA after secondary school, just like you did. So for her, how does the process work? Because like I said, she was only 14. So she was meant to have like a 1-year or 2-year compulsory training and then went on to progress. But in her own case, she was just taught about like a rag doll. So Tochi continues to say, there are a lot of things I cannot say about the force on record, even though I have left. Anything can happen and I still cherish my life. I am not married yet and I have no kids, so I have a whole life ahead of me. Can you imagine? So she's fearful of speaking more because they could easily find her. This is shocking and heartbreaking. So this article continues with workplace discrimination. In Nigerian society, particularly in the workplace, most women have historically been constrained to the bottom rungs of the social ladder. When the story is extended to the Nigerian Armed Forces, which includes the Air Force, Army, and Navy, it becomes clear that the number of women serving is drastically out of proportion to the number of males. Yes, because now male plenty for them. None has attained the highest rank in the military yet. Service chief. Abi, have you seen any army chief or any female holding a high ranking position in the army in Nigeria? Abby said, I finished secondary school at 14. So if I were to go to the military, it will have been to, all right, okay, there's a new law, not sure if passed here, that says higher education should start at 18. Yeah, I saw that, but I don't think that would work because most children grow really quick. And if children are actually going to school at the appropriate age, like for me, when I finished secondary school, I think I've just turned 18, or just a few months after I turned 17 was when I finished secondary school. Yeah. So if I were to be going straight to uni, then I would have gone straight to uni at the age of 18, 18 and a half or something. So I don't think any child in Nigeria going to university below the age of 18, their parents have probably maybe allowed them or encouraged them to take their jams and WAEC when they were in SS1 or SS2. Because I remember I did WAEC in SS2 as well. I did like an external exam. And I think the only subject I did not pass then was maths. Until tomorrow, I hate maths. So I'm sure I sat my first WAEC, like no, do GCE. Yeah, that was GCE. I did GCE when I was when I was in SS2. And like I said, the only subject I did not pass was math. And then if you were to go to uni without maths, no university will, will take you. So that was why I continued on to SS3, where I sat my WAEC and my NECO. So Abby said it will mean no double promotions. Exactly. Yes, I was just about reaching that. So parents whose children are actually finishing secondary school below the age of 18, their kids have actually maybe gotten double promotion from primary school. Maybe some of them double promotion from primary 3 or primary 4 to primary 6. So hopefully they stick to that, so that they are more matured girls or mature students going into uni before, so they're able to speak up. Okay. The mistakes start from primary school, exactly, where they give them triple promotion self. So Abby said, I started secondary school at 8. Oh my God, 8 years old, because of multiple double promotions due to being ahead of my peers. Oh my God, 8 years old, secondary school. I think I started secondary school at the age of 11. I started secondary school at the age of 11, I'm sure. Yeah, I'm sure 11 or just about to turn 12. I'm sure that was the age I started secondary school. And like I said, I think I left secondary school a few months after I turned 17. So my birthday was in May. And I think school normally finishes between May and June. Yeah, so it was a month or 2 months after my 17th birthday that I finished secondary school. And then there was I never had double promotion or anything. So, and I think my primary school then was only up to primary 5. We did not have primary 6. Yes, I remember my primary school. I set my common entrance at the age of when I was in primary 5. But nowadays, I think there's primary 6. There's even primary 7, if I'm not mistaken. I think there's primary 7, but I sat my common entrance at primary 5 because I went to a private primary school. So yeah. 8 years old, yeah. Abby said, yes, that's another topic because it's not a great experience, especially social development and all. I agree with you, Abby. Yeah. Even me, when I finished secondary school, I was still not streetwise. No, I was still not streetwise. Even though while I was in SS3, some of my other classmates, if you see them, you think they're 21. And yes, they get brain, they get sense more than me that was like maybe just young. We're almost the same age. Maybe in my group then, the oldest would have been 14, 15. No, when I was in SS3, the oldest amongst us, what I think was about 19. A few of my classmates were 19 when we were finishing secondary school, while I have just turned 17. Yeah. So a few of us were like 19. In fact, there are some who were like 20. Some of them who have failed. Maybe they failed DSS1. They stayed in DSS1. Maybe they went to DSS2 and then they failed DSS2. Maybe they went to DSS3. No, a few of them were like much older when we finished. Abby said, very tricky, but that's a whole different topic. I don't support parents pushing their children no matter how it. Exactly, I don't support that either. I don't support that either. And even here in the abroad, I've never seen where they give a child double promotion. They might just encourage a child by giving them, if they realize that their level of reasoning, their level of thinking, their level of understanding is higher than their peers. Hi, just with me, how are you, my beautiful sister? When they like a class now, I'm speaking from experience from one of my kids. When one of my kids was very, very ahead of her classmates, so she was being given homework that is slightly above her peers, though they are all in the same class, but they noticed that she was doing pretty well. She was doing really well. So our class was encouraged her to do activities, maths, English, that is like a level above her. That's how they encourage her here in their abroad. They don't necessarily say, oh, because she's above her peers now, she should move on to the next class. No. And there's a way they do them. So kids who are of high intellect than their peers, they divide their class. So let's say primary 5. And she's in primary 5, she's already displaying the attributes, intelligence of a primary 6 or a primary 7 or a primary 6 students. So they break the class into 2. Those kids who are of like, their intelligence, their IQs high there, they place them in a class. those kids who are slightly below, whose IQ is slightly lower, they group them in a class. So they have the higher hand teacher in the lower IQ class. So which means that they have a teacher who's going to be with them hands on to make sure that they are not slacking behind. And the ones whose level of thinking is higher, they have their own teacher who is like, pushing them on. So that's how they do it here. So even often, if you notice most primary schools, they often have two classes. Either they have primary 1A, 1B, or primary D, whatever. That's how they classify them. So there's nothing like double promotion. Hi Boma, how are you? Happy weekend. Selin said you were green ons there, you'll be picked on a lot. Exactly, Abby na Africo. Abby na Africo. This will be said, which is better? I wouldn't, like I said, here in the abroad, there's nothing like double promotion. They just place you in a class whereby you are encouraged to do more activities that is actually above your level. So if you're a level 5 in a primary 5 and you're already doing level 6, level 7 work, so they will encourage you to continue in that aspect. So you notice that such kids, they are the one once they get to high school, some of them go on to university from S4 or from year 1 to 3. Some of them go to uni from year 4 or year 5. Yeah, I've seen a few like that. Who, because they are really, really good. There's one of my friends, our son, like while he was in secondary school, he was representing them for so many competition in terms of mathematics. I believe he left high school when he was in S5. Yeah, that was level 5. I mean, year 5. Yeah, I believe he left school when he was in year 5. So there's a few others like that who would even leave at year 4 because their IQ is top notch and they're able to see their either GCSE. Some of them will just try, their parents will put them forward to go do their GCSE, and you see that they make their level 5 and they do all of their subjects and then they go straight to uni. Abby said, Selling, fortunately, my dad was an officer in the Air Force, so I was Oga speaking. But not correct. And your dad will be like, Baba. No, you Nigerian men know they joke with their daughter. I went to Air Force Secondary School in Ikeja before I switched to an all-girls school for the last 3 years. Abby was lucky. So just like we were saying here, this story of workplace discrimination, I'm going to finish reading this article and then we'll start rounding up. So on November 13, 2017, the Nigerian military implemented a major policy reversal, excluding female cadets from the combatant corps of the Nigerian Defense Army, and no official explanation was given by the Nigerian military or the Armed Forces Council for this policy, which is a direct reversal of a policy implemented just like, why would you exclude them from combat courses? Why? That means you're not preparing them for the inevitable if it were to happen. So why then should they remain in the army? Why should they remain in the army? The Armed Forces has a regular, in quotes, the regular combatant commission, the short service combatant commission, the direct regular commission. I don't even have a freaking clue what all this combatant whatever is. However, only personnel enlisted in this commission have the authority to head any service or become chief. So all these colleagues that are going and being excluded from all this combatant commission, they can never proceed in their career as into a senior official because they've not been able to pass through all of this combatant commission, whatever courses. So which means that they are not preparing them to exceed a higher rank in their profession, which is a shame. So why are all these women, why are all these women going to army? Why are they all going to army? If you're not being put through these courses to prepare you for being a higher rank, they just want you to remain a certain rank for the rest of your life. Why are you freaking going to army? Why? So that's why I'm not surprised that I've not seen a female who's owning a high ranking position in the army. I'm not surprised. I am not surprised at all. Please like this live stream, guys. I'm rounding up soon. So only personnel enlisted in this commission have the opportunity to head any service or become chief of defense staff. With the policy reversal, this means that women who are excluded from combat would never be able to attain such heights in the Nigerian military. Can you imagine? They don't want them to proceed. And all this women, there's lots of female amongst them. Like, women, if you're in the Nigerian army, pack your bags and leave. While breaking the silence is an important step, it is not enough to end the scourge of sexual violence in the army. Female soldiers continue to face numerous barriers, including fear of retaliation, stigma, shame, lack of trust, and power imbalance that we have not that we have seen come to play over and over. Yes, we've seen this over and over. Hello, Princess Bani goes, how are you? How are your family? Happy weekend. Now, Abby said, yes, in fact, the highest I remember is group captain for women. Can you imagine? Group captain, like, so now if I thought, okay, I chop bellyful, I want to go and join army. So there's no possibility of high ranking position for me as a woman. So why am I in the freaking army for? Is it not for progression? Is it not for progression? Women, if you are watching this and you are thinking of joining the army, open your ears and pack your bags if you are already there. Sally said they go because they meet a lot of vulnerable targets. Wow. And that progression, you'd have to be a doctor in something like that. Now, wow. And make only men they go now. Since now only men they won't let them go. But like I said, it's not fair that it's only men that are given this chance, this opportunity, and women are excluded. It's not fair. It's not fair. Like I said, the army, the never whatever they call them, they should all be placed on the hot seat and be investigated. Right. Let me finish this article and then we'll round up. So it continues that while breaking silence is an important step, I've already read that. While the Nigerian army has taken steps in the right direction by establishing gender policy, are they actually making use of that gender policy? Because if they were making use of that gender policy, this issue of Ruth Ogunleye would not happen. Abby said group captain is considered high, but still 2 ranks away from having a star. So which kind of job is that one now? So which kind job is that now? They will have some Bobriskis in there. Plenty well. And they'll be using DD oil. So, like I said, there's no use of this gender policy thingy if what has happened to Ruth Ogunleye in this year has still gone ahead to happen to her. And then the extra harassment and assault response prevention, SHARP. This SHARP thing, what have they done in the case of Ruth Ogunleye? What have they done? Abby said it's worldwide in the military. The progression for women is poor. It's the same thing here in the UK as well. It's the same thing here in the UK. I've seen other reports of like army, women in the army. I've seen it as well. So the Nigerian army must establish confidential reporting channels, ensure independent investigations, and hold perpetrators accountable. But in this regard, they are not holding them accountable. All these people that Ruth Ogunleye has called out, they are still going about. They've not done anything to them, and it is Ruth now that they are posting about. And like I said, I'm disappointed in the Nigerian news outlets who are not carrying this girl's case like Google for their head. Her case should be on every social media news or every news outlet, but they are not doing so. So far, I think it's only TVC News and AIT News that have actually, they've actually invited her to come talk. So demonstrating top-down commitment to addressing extra violence is also necessary to foster a culture of respect, inclusivity, and zero tolerance. The army lacks all of this, I'm sorry to say. The harassment, intimidation, and belittling of female soldiers in the Nigerian army demand attention and action. Yes, it demands attention and action. It is imperative to create a safe, inclusive environment where female soldiers can serve without fear of mistreatment. By acknowledging the problem and working towards solutions, we can ensure the well-being and success of all soldiers, regardless of gender. Absolutely. Same thing goes for all whatever. Because like I said, this case of Ruth Ogunleye is a shocking one. They won't want a problem with the NDA. No baton. They won't want the problem, but this girl is claiming that people have been sent to unalive her. And she's been going on mentioning names, and Honorable Uju, the women ministry affairs, women of women affairs, whatever they call her, she's involved in this case. And I think she should use her office to fight for this girl. She should use her office to fight for this girl. And this girl, she should go and get a legal representative to, because if she's the only one talking about this on her own, they are not going to take her serious. They are not going to take her serious. So I'm going to keep talking about this girl. I'm going to keep watching her page. I'm going to keep talking about her to see what's actually going to happen. Because like I said, this was how Mohbad was speaking to the public via his songs. And then most of us were just like, for me, I did not know about Mohbad from anywhere. It was not until after his passing that I started listening to his songs. And most of his songs that I started listening to, I did not even realize it was the one that sang those songs. So it was after his passing that, someone like me found out about him. So it was all the time, it was practically talking about the things it was going through. And obviously the entire public thought, oh, good song. And this is the same thing that this Ruth has been saying. She's alive now. She's talking about all the things that these people are doing to her. And they're trying to silence her. It's not fair. And I think she should be allowed to speak her truth all of those people that she has mentioned, they should be investigated. They should be suspended and investigated. Abby said it will be so tough. NDA is on federal level. If you miss federal level, let it be now, because at the end of the day, do you know all the things she has claimed that's been done to her? It's a shame. It's a shame, actually. Guys, I'm rounding up, guys. So I'm wishing Ruth Ogunleye all the best, and she just have to keep herself safe, because she already said that she's been threatened. She's been threatened, and yeah, so that's just all I've got to say here. She's been threatened, and I think it's high time people in the social media give her the chance to speak. And all of the people she has mentioned, they need to be investigated as well, because it is not fair. This career in the army should be open to everybody, regardless of gender. It should be open to everybody. And like I said, it's not as if maybe there's WAR in Nigeria. So I don't know where all of the people that have come out, all of these ladies that have come out to speak about what has been done to them by their male counterparts, suddenly realize that they had mental health issues. Like, what's giving them mental health issues if you guys have not injected her with all she said that she has been injected with? Anyway, guys, thank you so much. This is the end of this live stream. I really appreciate each and every one of you for being here today. If you're watching this live stream for the first time and you've not yet subscribed to my channel, what are you waiting for? So don't forget to like, drop your comments in the comment section based on what we've discussed in this video. Leave your thoughts in there. What do you think should be done? Do you think this lady should be protected, or do you think she should zip and pack her bag inside? I will not advise that. And yeah, subscribe, turn on the post notification, share as well. And I hope to see you later on this afternoon, and let's come and talk everything Bobrisky and Very Dark Man and all that has been happening, because I've been seeing lots of stuff now, but I don't want to add that into this video. So let's come, I think about after this afternoon, let's come and talk everything Bobrisky and all that has been happening since the voice recording. Thank you so much, Abby. Thank you so much, Celine. Thank you so much, Boma. Thank you so much, Princess Banigo. Who's here again? I've seen Boma. Thank you, everyone, and I shall see you guys later. All right. Bye.